Welcome to Emergence with Elira, where we explore the fusion of spirituality, psychology, energetics, and entrepreneurship. I'm Elira Tichkuti, your guide on this journey into unfolding new, conscious, heart-based business paradigm and our own emergence through that. I want to talk about how to build meaningful, sustainable businesses that truly resonates with our essence, our integrity, capacity, soft power, and extrasensory, sensitive nature, while redefining success in today's world. Hello, gorgeous being, and thank you again for being here and hopping again and taking time to listen. I just want to say, in these crazy times where we're so overloaded with information, I really appreciate you being here, and I hope you grabbed a nice cup of tea and enjoy this episode, because it's really profound one, and I hope you will get some insights same way as I did on the way of discovering and learning that. So today I really want to share my integration and what I learned from last year. It was happening so much last year for me, not the way that I wanted. Not the way I desired. Everything went a little bit opposite direction that I was planning to, I was preparing to, and I was desiring to. And in other words, everything went on decay. Everything went on decline in my business. And in this episode, I want to share what I learned from it and how I learned to hold it and the wisdom I took out of it. What it taught me, actually. So at the beginning of the year, I was so hyped. I had an amazing plan. I had a plan of my business. I planned it out by quarters. I had really goals, the projects I wanted to do. And I thought like, oh my gosh, everything is going uprise now. I'm clear. I know where I'm going. I have a plan. But it didn't go as planned at all. Actually, it went the other way around. It started to almost block and decay everything. So people started to unsubscribe from me, and every launch I did, it just didn't work. It didn't succeed, and for the first time in my life, it just didn't work. Anything I did, it was just not flowing. And this energy started to kind of increase through the year, especially the first half a year was very contractional because I still was pushing, I still was trying, I still was going to do what I had a plan to do. But it just didn't go that way. The energy didn't go that direction that I wanted. And I realized halfway through in the year that actually my business is going in the season of winter. And I'm bringing it up because we have this mindset, we have this conditioning from industrial revolution that we have to be super efficient, we have to constantly grow, expand, and we have to be just increasingly successful. But actually, in reality, we are nature and we function like nature in seasons. Same way is with our business. And my business went from autumn to deep resting winter. Nothing was flowing there. Everything I tried, it was just going against the nature. The energy was not taking momentum there. The energy didn't want to go there. And more I tried to push against that and not listen and not hear that, more it was painful. It's like when we look around and we see it's a winter around. It's the snow, everything is kind of dead, resting, it's quiet. And we try to expect the summer or autumn fruits, like I want my apples to grow and I want to pick my apples. It's just not how it works, right? It's not how nature works. So I stopped and I just really listened. And that's where I learned very hard way, but actually very beautiful way to learn to listen all the time, the signs of nature, the signs of environment, the signs of what's actually in the field, what's going on. One thing is what desires and goals I have. Another thing is how the nature wants to go. And I stopped. I slowed down. And the second part of the year, I didn't launch anything. I didn't grow anything. I went very deep within. And what I noticed, everything what I did in business was not growing. It was super, super on winter season. It just needed the rest. It was just decaying, and it was this status quo. While in my personal life, everything started to flourish. So the energy went in my personal life, though I even didn't plan to or didn't kind of work hard on it. Somehow there, my season was really spring to summer. I built very beautiful new friendships. I very deepened very nicely and very beautifully connection with my best friend. I rescued 2 new animals. I have the sanctuary of animals. I have 3 cats now and a tiny turtle. So last year, again, no plan. It just happened. It just literally came at my door. I rescued little tiny turtle who was injured and who was just hatched. And the gardener just saw me and just handed it to me. And then I rescued little kitten. We took months really to heal. And I think it will take up to a year. We're still now healing the emotional trauma this kitten has. So I spent a lot of time nurturing and growing my personal life, my personal connections, my home. I moved to a new place to live. So all the energy was going there. Everything was growing there. And my business, not. And I asked myself, can I flow where the flow goes? Can I really trust and surrender that actually on a bigger picture, that's what's actually needed? And trust the process? Because winter is never actually super quiet. It's resting, it's integrating, it's contemplating, it's preparing. And then I really became super honest with myself, with my body, and my business. And I really listened all these clues and those signs that they all were trying to communicate to me. Like in nature, always shows the signs. Like you notice when the season changes. Suddenly it was hot summer and suddenly the windy breeze started to come up. Suddenly the temperature dropped a few degrees. Or you start to notice, the leaves are starting to die off. If you really pay attention, you can see those signs in your business as well. And I want to have this conversation because most conversations we have about a business is how to thrive, how to grow, how to be successful, and all the tools and access points, how to do that. And I want to talk about real things in line with nature, in line how we grow and how we are, and how to hold the decay in your business without feeling unworthy, without feeling shame, without feeling that you did something wrong or it is something wrong with you or you are a failure. But also listening and being honest and not clingy to things that we need to let go in business, because everything in the business are cyclic. Maybe the programs need to be let go and die off, and you just keep pushing and you see it's not working and you try to control harder. And it's just dying off because it lives its season and it's done. It's complete. It needs to go away so new things can emerge. Or the clients or your way of being in business or structures in your business. It's just a rejuvenation process. It's just death and rebirth process. Because often that's where we can easily go to, right? So after a launch, which was total failure from perspective of business, entrepreneurship, success definition, my body was just saying no. My body was saying, I just don't want to use the energy there. And I don't have capacity for it. It's pushing, it's performing, it's going against the nature. And the thing is, our words, our language, our mind lies so much more than our body. Our body never lies. Our body is always communicating to us if we know how to listen. And that launch was for me a very clear indication that it's nothing wrong with me. It's not wrong with the topic that I want to share. It's just not the right time. It's not the right use of energy at the moment. And in true honesty, I didn't have capacity for. So instead of hammering myself, instead of treating myself like a failure, I asked myself, But what do I have capacity for then? And my body was very clear. The energy was very clear where I wanted to go. I really needed that winter season myself. So what I did, I accepted the fact that I will not going to launch anything the second part of the year. And I just kept one beautiful mastermind course, The Rise, which was absolutely amazing. And all my heart, all my energy was on board there. I have a super amazing group. So much came out of there. But I just minimized my exposure, my visibility, my creation process, and I went really deep within. And I spent a lot of time with myself, resting in nature, contemplating. And it came a lot of clarity from listening. Clarity of my movement, clarity of my message, clarity what my community wants, because I really dropped my expectations and I just leaned back and listened. All these little signs, all these little pointers, subtle signals that were pointing and communicating to me, not only through the language, but also through behavior, through senses, through energetic expressions and so on, through the feelings. So I really allowed myself to drop in and relax and not to push against my capacity. It was not time for me to stretch my capacity and expand. It was time to lean back and build up the capacity. It was time to really build my health, recharge myself, rejuvenate, because I had several years where it was quite intense for me. So I realized my capacity for business last year was low. And when I embraced that, when I accepted that, I asked another question myself. So what do I need? What structures do I need to build to support that low capacity? And one of the things that came up very vividly was to have financial stability and to have a lot of spaciousness to create, to contemplate, to reflect. But also, I didn't have capacity for new people. So I gathered all this information, this clarity, and I structured my business around that. So I didn't do any other launches. I didn't expand. I didn't go visibly to new audiences. I stayed with my long-term clients, and I had this program of 1 year long, and people had the payment plan. So I secured financial stability monthly. I didn't have to worry. I know for a year I have this continuation of income every month, stable. I know the amount. So that took the pressure away from, survival and how will you get the cash, which is different capacity when you in the different season. You can experiment with that. You have different resiliency and different risk factors there, risk capacity in a way. So I could lean back into what needed to be integrated. I needed to nurture myself. I needed to heal myself. I needed to really go into this no pressure space and stability financially, stability knowing, okay, what's the plan for me? This is what's going to be happening and so on. Every day, every month I knew. So I could really lean back, as I said. So my nervous system could go to ease and into more parasympathetic state more of the time. It's not stressed, it's not stretched, it's familiar, because nervous system loves familiar, loves known. This is where it finds safety. And this is why I created that external structure around me that for my nervous system feels safe. I could fill my cup, I could start building my capacity. And I was very gentle with myself and my body. Every time I start to feel it's hard, or environment or field start to ask me my energy and things from me, every time I ask myself, do I have capacity for it? Yes or no? And if I don't have capacity for it, what do I have capacity for? What I am available for? That was the key question that I kept asking, and that helped me to stay and build and grow in line and within my capacity, instead of overstretching, overburdening myself and going against my body. Because one thing was my vision that I had for my business. Another thing was how my body related to that. And another thing that was very important, essential part is really to accept it without judging it. Looking into the bigger picture, leaning into the trust of the process, trust of that I will be successful, trust that it's okay to breathe out. It's just a season. It's not the life sentence. It's not like this is it. If I'm not having capacity, it's nothing wrong with me. It's just the season I'm in. And I have to honor that, because if I didn't honor that, I didn't have all these powerful insights that I had, powerful integrations, powerful way of accessing myself and my work, and also clarity how I need to direct my work. You know, when you're busy doing, sometimes you get distracted and you waste your energy instead of like stopping and listening. It's like where actually the energy wants to go. How do I want to unfold it? What is the right time, and when is the right time? What is right now available and ready for? Because often when we get stuck on these goals and desires, especially in business, we are very much conditioned to have these goals and visions about the business or direction you want to take, and that's important. I believe your sustainable, lasting business success cannot be built without proper foundations of you. Especially if you have heart-based business, it can be just as strong, aligned, and thriving as you are. As your capacity to hold and embody yourself, your creativity, your vision, and your potential. And also your ability to be daring, to embrace and lead from your truth, your guidance, your rebellious soul, and your extrasensory heart. To become and be the person you want to work with. I created the space, the Temple Path. It's probably one of the most non-conventional business-focused spaces based on personal growth, increased capacity, and nervous system care. It's for sensitive and ambitious, soulful entrepreneurs to access, embody, hold, and express more of you, genuine you in the world and your work. So you can be very sensitive, very rebellious, and so thriving in your own authentic way. But we forget to bring ourselves with that, the way we are and where we are. So often when you have this vision and dream, it's somewhere out of your body, it's somewhere out there. Somewhere in the future, but it's not here. And we often forget to stop and to really listen, but where am I now? What do I have capacity for? What is my readiness for it? And what actually the next step that naturally wants to unfold? My ego wanted visibility. My ego wanted all these amazing projects that I had in mind that I want to do, and I still want to do them. But my body was not there. My season was not there. My capacity was way not there. And due to that, I also lost quite some money because I didn't listen that at first. I didn't know how to listen so gracefully and so graciously and really honoring what is in a way. And at a certain point, I just became more miserable. I became more contracted, more disconnected because I was pushing against the flow of the river. Let's put it that visually. I'm just trying to control the direction of the river, but the river flows where it flows. And I'm so glad what it taught me. I'm so glad I allowed myself at a certain point to really have that winter season, really accept that, really honor that, because it came out a lot of depth that I couldn't have accessed if I've been busy doing so much. It needed silence. It needed contemplation. And this is where I really got awareness and clarity, a lot of clarity of my soft power movement, gentle self-leadership, all these terms and concepts that just suddenly landed in me. They were buzzing in my field. I was building, experimenting with them, but it's just landed differently in the different level of clarity. Also capacity-based growth. And it also became clear what programs, what people I want to work with, and what needs to be let go. So it was like huge revision. And also somewhere on the way, midway of my mastermind program, I accessed a very different way of sharing my work and my wisdom, thanks to the amazing group who were kind of into very deep interconnectedness and feedback loop. I was listening also very deeply what they needed and build a program basically around them and what they needed. And at the same time, they reflected me back what they needed more from me, what was working, the way it's working, what access points really lands for them. So it was this constant, very deep listening loop and co-creation. And it was very, very beautiful because I just literally surrendered into that and let things to unfold. And the most beautiful result that happened is that originally the program was half a year. But when we reached half a year point, all the group unanimously asked me to continue another half a year because we got such a beautiful momentum of growth and unfolding that it felt the most natural thing for all of us. And we finished that program just recently. And now I'm like rest and integration from that season of that program. And each program has also its own season. Each client has its own season. The market has its own season. You personally as the person have your own cycle and season. Your business have your season that it grows with. So everything is constantly cyclic. And as the art to honor those seasons and actually know what season and cycle they are in, so you don't have to push or expect something they are not or not ready for. And this year, energy changed. Suddenly, I feel like my winter season is over. And my business started to naturally shift to more visibility, to starting to grow the seeds, growing my business, growing people, the visibility. And it started the energy is totally different. And things just organically, naturally started to grow. And my body capacity is also very different. I feel very powerful, very clear, very recharged. And I feel, okay, now it's time to go out in the world, to go to grow my business. This is the next season now. Like now we're going into very strong spring and summer season. And to be honest, I fell in love with capacity-based growth even more now. And because of that, I got a layer deeper in all the capacities, 8 capacities that I focus on. And the one that I want to mention now in the context of this share is the structural capacity. Because when people think about structural capacity, is often about tactics, about strategy, how to build and grow the business. And my approach to structural capacity is not that. My approach to structural capacity is how to create structure, system, support that you can grow through seasons. So you can hold yourself, and those structures and system can hold you in your winter and empower you in your spring and in your summer when you shine the brightest. Because that's what I lean into. When I realize my capacity is low, my business capacity is low, it's in decay season, I ask myself what structures I need to have in place to hold that, to support that. So my business is honored and also holds me, and we hold each other in a way, respectfully through all seasons. And it can be intentionally built through overall having your lifestyle, your energy style, your personality, your way of being style, and then build a business around that. But it also can be just being present in the moment and noticing when the season is changing and asking, what do you need now? What structures do I need to create so I can be in that season? Because to be honest, if I would have been preparing for this from the place of fear, how do I need to prevent myself from survival? From the place of preparing yourself from all doom and gloom or all kind of protective scenarios is very different energetics than meeting yourself from the place of desire and the place of what is actually needed right now. So imagine having conversation with yourself, and I imagine myself like walking in the garden and meeting myself in that capacity and saying, what do you need right now? What do you want right now? What is your desire? What is your longing? And the answer would be, I just want to like sit quietly in my space and just look in all the seeds that I have and just to reflect which ones I want to grow and not when the spring comes. I need space for that. So it's very different, you see, energetics that you can approach, not from the place of fear and having the plan from survival and protection, but from the place, okay, what is and what do we need to thrive here? How can we honor that? And then the structure, when I got clear what I needed, somehow the structure and all these things that I needed in that structural capacity just happened organically and naturally in dance with me being clear about it, what I need. And at the same time, it's just nature, universe kind of co-creating or co-inspiring, responding to me and meeting me halfway. That's kind of a natural nature's flow, because nature always responds and provides and supports you if you really listen, if you're really attuned to. And we are also nature, so listening and tuning to yourself as well. And I'm inviting you to do the same thing this year or now. Like, ask yourself what season you're in. What capacity do you have? And it can be to different things like personal life, relationships. It can be money. It can be visibility. It can be growth. Look how your body responds. Like, what is really your body's relationship to it? What is capacity actually there? So you don't push it, you honor it, and you support and you help your body to be on board and build a capacity for that. That's, for me, at the core of capacity-based growth concept lies. And if it's not you, if you feel like someone needs to hear this now, share this episode with that person. And the following episodes will be a lot of wisdom nuggets that I got access to and integrated because of my winter season. So there's a lot in the pipeline in my head that I want to share. So stay tuned. And now give yourself a moment and feel your body. Close your eyes and let this information, this episode, go through your body, anchor in your body. Let it feel how it touches you and what sensations it brings up.